All right. Okay. Good evening once again. I hope we are doing well today. Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you. So we will take questions for about 3 minutes. So if you have any question, please your hand, and then we'll take the questions. Okay. Mr. Francis.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, sir. Yeah, after trying to do some stuff yesterday, I was thinking about another thing, like what if like the data sets that we input, that some Power BI that we are working on presently is the customer and customer table. So I was like, what if we want to join 3 criteria together? Like maybe we are looking for customers with numbers of kids and that has highest that contribute highest total income.
We will get that. We are going to that later, so don't worry about that.
Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking. I'm not sorry.
I understand, because it's not within what we've covered. So explaining it is just like if it's like question on what we've done. Well, I understand that you probably want to try to do some of the things that you did in Excel, which is in SQL, which is nice. But since we've not covered it here, let's just wait till when we do that.
Okay, sure.
All right. So, Mr. Shenfumi, yeah, let's have your question.
All right, good evening, sir. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. What happened is, I was trying to, like, I think I posted something on Discord, which I'm so happy with getting something error, trying to troubleshoot again. I posted something there where I tried to merge customer, the one we did the one, and the one we did yesterday, sales. Now I tried to merge something. I think I got, instead of the amount to change, I got the same thing. And also I tried to delete the customer again. When I tried to delete customer and bring in the customer, the SVFZ file again back to the Power Query, because I changed the what's it called, the English UK. You know, you're supposed to change that yesterday, right? I did that, but when I bring in this customer CSV back to my Power Query today, this afternoon, and I found that when I tried to add column, maybe like add to column on the age, when I go to the date, it just already showed the passé. It didn't change until I now did it again, and now go back to what's it called? Go back, change my distance, then English United States again, so the option can come again. I don't know if I just try to troubleshoot to know maybe something reasonable there.
I mentioned yesterday that if you want to try that UK, I said you should create a new Power BI file. I think I mentioned that. I didn't ask you to create it on the current file that you are working on. I believe I mentioned that yesterday, right, class? Okay. Create a new file, and then, because if you try to do it, it might tamper with some of the things you have. So please, you can make that amendment and stick to what we have for our own file. And then if you want to experiment with other things, try to make it another file. Okay. But then if you have any questions still around this, you can always use the Discord too. I saw some of your posts actually, and I saw that someone recommended something to do, and then you said troubleshooting work. So I assumed that maybe you got that fixed. So that's why I didn't make any other comment. But if you still need any help or anything like that, we can always talk on the Discord. Okay. All right. So yeah, thanks. So let's continue our class today. So thank you for trying out stuff. I mean, it's nice. I believe when you keep doing this, you guys will see that your learning is going to be really fast. You'll be really learning a lot. I mean, maybe I've not shared my story before. I mean, I've not, yeah, we will be having our session. I was planning this Friday before, but again, because we have this this guy tomorrow, what's it called? Which might not even hold now because I'm having to do some things again. That's the solution video. So if I'm not able to have it tomorrow, then most likely on Friday. So we would not be having any kind of what's it called? Like, because I was planning to have some of my colleagues or friends come talk to us, share their journey. But personally, the way I learn, I mean, most of the things I know are actually learning learning by doing, and I believe this is more sustainable than trying to overwhelm yourself all at once. Okay, so please, if you have not been practicing at all, you're not doing yourself any good. I can guarantee you that. The stuff might look simple while we do them in class and you feel you've gotten it. If you don't really practice, then you are not, like, it's not going to stay, right? So those who are doing these things, I'm sure they might not see the importance now, like you might think, but when you finish later, you realize that many of these errors that you're encountering, you encounter them in businesses, and because you have the experience, you already know what's going on. Just like yesterday, the mistake that I made, I didn't prepare for it, obviously, but it happened, but I've been doing this, so I know what it means. So that's exactly what practice does. So please, that's a few minutes of prep talk is just to encourage us more to practice. Okay, so we've looked at the intro to Power BI, and then ETL visualization one. So we played around a bit just to show you how some of those things. We're still going back there anyways. So today we'll be starting with data modeling, and then we'll see how far we can go. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned before, I'll be pretty fast. And let me give a disclaimer. At any point on this topic, it's actually like, as far as I know, like maybe the difficult part of the whole thing. But because of what we've done so far, I believe you guys should understand it very fast. Okay. So the experience you have from SQL and even Excel already puts you in advantage. Okay, so I don't expect this to be really difficult, but generally it's usually something that takes time to digest. But I believe you are in a better position to understand everything we're doing. And as a matter of fact, I asked us to watch a video. I don't know how many of us watched the video, but if you did not watch that video, you might have to go back there again, because I'm not going to really talk about it. Some of the things that are there. So again, go and check that video. It's really explanatory to understand what all this is all about. Okay, so data modeling. So when you hear data modeling, at least from the Power BI point of view, because the data modeling is actually a broad topic, right? It's like the foundation of the whole data, everything. So once you're not able to model your data correctly, then there are going to be issues with your results and all of that. So just to make it simple, all these definitions that are here, I would not be just like copy. I just had to put up presentation. I cannot put my picture there. So the whole idea of data modeling is, at least in Power BI now, is trying to bring all your data together, right? So by now you know the reasons why we would have different tables, right? Even though they are related, we need to store them separately. We already explained that before. Okay. So in order to make sense out of this different set of data, there's a need for you to bring them together, right? So that's just the whole point. So when you talk of data modeling, you talk about creating relationships, not the usual boyfriend and girlfriend thing, but relationship between tables. So you talk of finding common field, just like you're seeing in bold here, finding a common, something that makes them relate together, and then you try to connect them together like a bridge. Okay, so this interconnection is the cornerstone of a meaningful visualization and calculation. So let's look at a scenario. So this is a scenario that I believe that you're already used to. So imagine a scenario where the sales data from various regions needs to be combined with customer demographics. So we've seen something like that before, right? So where you have like the sales data from different regions, and then you have the customer data as well. So you need to bring them together. You've already done this before, right? In your SQL. So in order that I can, okay, which region are our customers making purchases, which which product are they buying the most. So it means your customer table is somewhere, your product table is somewhere, your sales table is somewhere. So we must join all of them together. We must relate them together so that we can make a sense out of and answer our business questions. So that's just the whole idea of our modeling. Sounds like what you've been doing, right? So that's that. So, and of course, it's important to establish the right relationship. Okay. So if not, you miss it all wrong. Like, so think of the relationship as joins. Okay. Just like what you have been doing. Okay. So in Power BI, as soon as you model your data, this is what you should have. So if you remember, we're going there. No worries. We're still going to check it. So if you remember yesterday, I showed you your model view. So you can see we're on the third part here, the model view. So yesterday, okay, maybe I should have shown it. I should have added the picture of a non-model view. That's my mistake. So maybe you see the difference, but we'll still check it. So yesterday you would notice, okay, let's go there now. So if I open my Power BI and I go to my model view, you see that, and I try to zoom out a bit so you see all our data, right? You can see all of them. There is no connection between them. So this is not a model. You get the idea now, right? So as soon as you model, you will see a connection, like a line that tells, okay, this one is connected to this one is relating to this. And then you can know that, okay, your modeling is done. So based on what you learned now in that video, for those of us that watched it, for you to establish that relationship, there's a need for you to find a reference column. You already know this by now, right? So those reference columns are called keys. All right, so that's just the whole thing. So your modeling starts by first identifying your keys, knowing what your keys are in your tables. Okay, so and we have two types of keys. So we have primary key and then foreign key. Okay, I think it was these two were explained in that video, right? Who watched it? Was it explained? Sorry, I did not watch it about that.
Yes,
was it?
it was.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
It was
explained.
explained.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So we have two types of keys, primary and foreign key. So usually you will find primary in okay, I don't want to talk about the other types of table, but do I even have a slide for those? Okay, I don't have the slide. So primary key is usually found in like dimension table. So the whole idea is primary key does not repeat itself. Let me just make it simple for you. So when you see a table and then the key that you identified does not repeat itself, so it means each keys are distinct. That tells you that you are dealing with a primary key. Okay, and that table is a dimension table. Okay. Go and watch the video. So foreign key, it means that if you find a key that is repeating itself, so that's a foreign key. Okay, and that table is a fact table. Okay, it was not explained in the video. Okay, so to establish your model, like we said, first you need to identify your key, and then as soon as you identify your key, you establish the relationship. Okay, all right. So let's go quickly to Power BI. Yesterday we actually hid some of the tables here, so we revealing them. So let's start with cities. Just unhide, I don't know if that English is correct. Unhide cities, unhide product, unhide sales, unhide sales customers, and unhide payments. So those 5 tables that are under sales folder, you remember? So we have unhidden them. I don't know if that is correct. All right, so for the customer that we used yesterday, I don't want us to get confused. So I'm going to short it for now. So I'm going to hide it. That's the one we used yesterday. So if we go to our model view, you should have just these guys. So you should have, let's hide supermarket sales as well. We've not used it so far. Let's hide it. We don't need it for now. So we just have these 5 tables: cities, payment, product, sales, and sales customers that we have in our sales folder. You remember? Okay. So now let me come over to my model view and try to bring these tables together. So let me take this, merge these guys away. So I'm going to bring these guys close: cities, payment, product, sales, and there's one more, sales customer. Okay. All right. Now, if you remember in our Excel, so let me come here. If you remember in our Excel, this is what you did in Excel. When we were doing the VLOOKUP, what we literally did was to find this one info, just like we did yesterday with the merge, right? So actually, instead of doing the merge in Power Query, most times you don't need to do the merge. You don't need to merge your tables there, okay? Because that's where modeling comes in. So you can still have your data separate and still communicate and have them communicate to one another. That's what data modeling is all about, right? We talk about finding a relationship between several tables. So now let's go. So if I want to establish a relationship between these guys, so right now they are not communicating. So I don't know which customer is making which order, because there is no, because if you go to sales only now, sales, okay, let me create a new sheet. So let me call this one day 2. So if you go to sales table now, and all the columns here, let's say I want to find how much our customers are making, or I want to check the total quantity that we sold, you know. Now, once I do that, and I want to find the customers that are making those sales, the quantity that each customers are making, there's no way I can find out, because this guy is not connected to anything that can give me that information based on what that video was telling us. So if I come here now to customers, for instance, and I try to bring in gender to see a breakdown of the quantity by gender, you know these things by now. So if I change this to a table, we did this yesterday already, so I believe you know what I'm doing. If I change this to a table, and then I bring in my gender. So if I try to rearrange it to look normal, so see that female says 5,510, male says 5,510. They are the same, and which is wrong. So someone actually got this error. I think it's Mr. Shemfumi, one of the screenshots you sent, I saw it. So whenever you see something like this happen, just know that there's an issue with the model. Okay, there's an issue with the model. So straight up, seeing this, I know that there is a miscommunication between the two tables that you are doing. And it's true, because if you check these guys, nothing actually nothing shows that they are related, they are connected, right? So you just pick this from here, you pick this from there, and then so you need to find a connection between them, right? So, and as we already know, the connection between sales and customers table is what? Is the invoice ID. So let me tell Power BI that these two tables are actually related, and I need you to always relate them whenever I bring stuff separately from them. So if I go to your model view, you look for customers. So this is sales customers. This is sales. So since it's invoice ID, all you need to do is just drag and drop. So I'll pick this invoice ID now. I will drag it, hold on it, and you can pick anyone here. But what I want to pick it with is what? Invoice ID. So once I put it on invoice ID, you see that Power BI automatically creates this line for me. Now, if I go to my view, you can see that it is in the right proportion. So which is the correct one. So now you can see the connection between these two guys, and then it's automatically going to create. So you don't need to merge your data even from the Power Query. That's where your modeling comes in, because this will be faster. You know, when you model, we merged yesterday, even though it sounds good and all of that, we are having a big data. And one of the things I told you about, I think I mentioned it, having a big data is issue with retrieving data. Do you remember when I used the example of when you have students and all the students are joined together, and all the students are in one place, and then you're trying to get a student. Do you remember that example? Yeah. So when you are having a denormalized a denormalized table, and then instead you can just break them down into classes, and then it's easy for you to say, okay, I want a student from class 2 who is short. You can just go to class 2 and then pick a student who is short, like all of them being together. So that's just the whole idea. So doing that yesterday, we have one big table, and that will affect. Okay, so assignment for today: find out the differences between normalized and denormalized. Please read up on these things. They will even help you when you are talking in your interviews. These are things that normal, like once they hear them, they know that it's not just said by someone who just watched tutorial videos. Okay, so that's all these things I tell you, please, it's for your own good. So when you include them in things you say, you sound more technical than even your experience. So find out the differences between normalized and denormalized table. I put it on the chart. So read up on them, just try to understand what's going on. What does this mean? What does this mean? What are the advantages? Try to, okay. So the one we created yesterday is a denormalized table. So we have all, look at it. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the customers, this one that we created. So everything is just big. You can see one big table. This is like that school where all the students are just together, right? So this is denormalized. Okay, if it's really large, you would see the performance come into play. But in this case, where you are using the model option, this one will be it will be faster to retrieve results because he's not bringing everything together. It will just go to, okay, since you are looking for customer this, just come here, look for that customer, and then relate it. So it's really faster. Okay, maybe you don't understand that, but I hope you did. So that's how you create relationships between your tables. So again, we are going to do the same thing for products. So if I'm interested in knowing how much quantity of products, so it means I'm trying to find between product and sales. So let me do the same thing. Let me add a product line here. It's going to come automatically as a table, and then try to add you can have, let me see how the table looks like so I can know what to what are we dealing with, sales. So let's look at this is for product. So let's look at total. So let's just look at total. So I guess this total is maybe total, I don't know, maybe total, who remembers? I think this is the total amount, right? This is the amount, right? Was it? Nobody's with me. It's like I'm dealing with yesterday. Yeah, I think it's the total amount. Yeah.
Yes, after tax.
Yeah,
After
after that. Yeah. So whatever it is, so let's just add it and see. So now if I had total, you see that, oh, it's changing. So I need to change this back to a table. So you see the same error again, the same thing. Whenever you see this, take note. They can even show you in an interview and show you like this, say, what is wrong here? Do you understand? I think I've been in an interview that day. Whether an interview or a question, I know I've seen a question like this before. So they will just show you, so what's wrong? They expect you to know that, yeah, there is model issue. Okay, there's issue with the modeling. The table that is populating this and the table that is populating this, they seem not to be connected. Okay, so I hope you remember that. So again, we are going to establish that relationship. So before you establish relationship, you need to identify your key because we already know these things now. That's why I'm just doing it straight up. So we know the key here is invoice ID and the key here is invoice ID. In a business, in a real world setting, you need to first know the key, identify the key. They might necessarily not have the same name. I think I've told you that before. So this can be called invoice ID and here is called something else. So that's where the understanding of the business comes. So you know, okay, they actually mean the same thing, even though they are like different names. So I'm going to do the same thing, just drag this guy and bring it here. And then it's connected. And then when you come here, you would see that we have the right breakdown. Okay. So you guys can try for payments together. Let's do it together. So if you have your computer, let's do for payment. So want to connect, see what payment method are they using for the most, you know. So let's try it. So I'm just going to join. Let me first create something so we can see. So let me add a payment method and see the number. So I'm going to do count of sales. So to see how much. I need to change this to a table. What did I do now? Okay. Okay, so I want to do count of the invoice ID. Like invoice ID, of course, represent each sale. So the reason why we're having this is because you cannot just add invoice ID because it's not a number. So you might need to change this one to count. So right now it says don't summarize and doesn't make sense. So you want to change it to count. Okay, so once I change to count, and then I can change this to a table, and then you would see that again, there's issue with modeling here. So we don't want to know how much, we did this before, right? So how much was cash, how much was credit, how much was e-wallet, and it was count, if you remember. I think we did that. So again, you need to create that relationship between payment and this guy. So I'm just going to drag this guy together. And then when we go back, we'll see that now we have the breakdown. So 345 actually made payment on this guy and so on. Okay. Now you can see that it seems, okay, I still have space. I actually zoomed out. But I remember I said I was going to show you something yesterday. So let me show you quickly. So sometimes this page is usually too small for if you have a lot of charts. So one way to change that is click on your canvas. Just make sure you are clicking on a blank space. Someone asked a question yesterday. So click on blank and then go to format and then go to page canvas settings. So when you go to canvas settings, you can see the default. So right now it is 16:9. So you can change it to custom. And then at the moment you have 720 by 1280. So you can change the size as you want. So if I want to change the eye to, let's say 1000, you can see it got taller. And then if you want to change the width to 1.5, this is actually my favorite sizing anyways. So wide 1.5, now you can see we have more space to do more things. So this is how you can change the size, but I'll leave it at 16:9. So the last one is cities. So if in case we're interested in knowing how much we have made from each cities, okay? So I want to bring in my cities here and then how much we have made, so total, yeah? So when I change that to a table, the same thing, right? So all I have to do, you guessed right, so just join with this one and then everything is good. All right, so that's the importance of having good relationship. Okay, can see if you don't have a good relationship, you'll be getting the wrong result, and how you can join them together. Is it clear? Any question before I continue? Okay, yeah, Princess, go ahead.
Good evening. Sorry. Okay, so my question is, does it matter which table? Maybe it's the dimension table that we join. We connect with the other tables, or it has to be like, how do you know which table to connect with? I don't know. Is my question clear?
That's a funny question. When you were doing Excel projects, how did you know that you were supposed to connect to the cost to the sales table?
Okay, I'm asking because I think we are all familiar with this particular data set, so it will be quite easy to know. Which I'm asking the question for other cases where you are not so like familiar with the data. Does it?
Okay, rephrase the question again. Maybe I didn't get the question then.
Like, okay, what I was asking is to model the data. Like, does it really like matter to which table? I mean, whether it's the dimension table or the fact table that you are connecting the various data to.
Don't use those terms yet, so you don't confuse other people who are not doing that.
Oh,
so just
okay. Okay.
No, continue. Ask your question.
Okay, so I'm saying that I don't know the best way to ask the question.
The honest truth is when you know what to do. Okay, the first question is why do you need to join your tables together? So once you understand, okay, why you need to join this table with another table, then you find the connection between them and you join them. So if you, for instance, it's not because we are familiar with this data, it's just, I mean, we've used several data in our project. So the last project we did, what was it on? I think I added more stuff and I was asking you about return. There was no return in the example we did, but now I'm asking you about return. And in the what's it called? In this other table that you have, there's nothing that tells you return. And now you know that you just like in the video I sent to you, you have something and you need an information, and then you know this information is not here and I need to get it in this other table, right? Then what else? What's the next thing? You find how you can link them up together. So you find the relationship between them by first identifying the key. So this is not a question of maybe even knowing, just find the key. This is the key here, this is that key here, and then you join them together. So it's your requirement that we always, that's why you must understand the data first. It's not like you just see data and then you just pick them up and you're just joining. No. If there's no reason to join, for instance, now I would never, nothing will make me ever join these sales with students table. Nothing. Right? Because they are not even connected, they are not related. So the question is you understanding why you need to join in the first place. So, which I believe you know why you need to join. So once you know why you need to join, when you see a scenario where you should join, you will join them. So that's just the whole idea. Don't worry. When you have your mini project, you will probably, by the time you do it yourself, you will get more. But I don't think it's anything complicated. Okay. So did you do your mini project, Princess, in the weekend?
Yeah, I did.
So when you were joining maybe customer and returns and all of that, what prompted you to join them together, like customer and returns?
The requirements, what I wanted to, of the result I wanted.
It's the same thing too. So that's what will prompt what you need to join or what you need to model to. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So so this is basically how we can. So this old guy that we did here will actually be doing the same result as this guy that we merged here. This yeah, actually doing the same result. So you can check it yourself. So if you need anything from here, let's say count of female, let's pick it from here now. So let me unhide it. And let me go to my customers now. We have our customers here now. Okay, so I'll be picking everything that's up here now. I want to do it from this merged table that we did yesterday. Okay, and let's see if we'll get the same thing. So if I pick my female, so we have gender, pick it. Oh, it's here. We have NA in my distance. I think we must have done a mistake with this our if statement that we did that time. Right? Or did we? Why do we have NA here? Anybody?
Yeah.
I think we have any error.
That means must have been an error. Let's continue and see. So
Intentionally.
if I bring this here, don't worry, it's fine. If I bring this here and then what we did here was sum of quantity. Oh, it's different data. Sorry, that's right. It's a different data. They are different. They are not the same. They are not the same. Customer table is just one big customer table that we had. Which one did we not?
Customer.
We did not. It should be merged three.
Customer CSV.
Supermarket sales.
No, it's not supermarket. Supermarket is another data on its own too, right? Oh, it's the one. Thank you guys. It's the merge 4. We now change the name to supermarket sales, right?
Sales, yeah.
It's the merge 4. Okay, so it's the one we merge together and then we change the name. Okay, good. Thank you guys. So supermarket CSV, so I need to uncheck it. Thank you. And then I bring it here. So let's pick all of these things that we did now from supermarket CSV and see if we'll get the same thing. So this is gender. Where's gender? Where's gender? Can you see gender? I cannot see gender. Let me see. Okay. Because of this name that we added to it. So let me expand it here. So this is gender here. Sales customer gender is where. So and what sum of quantity, right? So quantity, just add it and then change it to a table. And so you see that we have the same thing, right? So, but trust me, if you are dealing with large one, this one will perform better than this one. You get it, but it's still the same thing. So let me just do for this one as well, and then we'll go to the next thing where you can try and check others yourself. So product line, and then you bring it alongside sum of total, and then you change it to a table. So you can see that we have the same thing. So just for you to know that they are the same thing, but I've told you the advantage or the difference when you should use this one or which one is better, but they actually do the same thing. All right. Okay. So I believe you understand that. So let me hide this guy back, this guy again, so that we don't get confused. So the next thing I want to show you here, which was also explained in that video, I did not even make a slide for it, actually, because I expect that you would have watched it there, is relationships. So who watched the video and can tell us the 3 relationships that were mentioned confidently? Just raise your hand, I will call you. The 3 types of relationship that we have based on that video. Okay, peace. Peace. Wow, I think this is the first time I'm seeing this person. I'm not sure, but it feels like that. So please go ahead, peace.
Okay, we have one-to-one, then we have one-to-many, and then we have many-to-many.
Good, thank you so much. So just like she said, we have one-to-one. So one-to-one is when the key is distinct on both sides of the table. So you have 2 tables, and the key here is unique or is distinct. I told you, who found the differences between unique and distinct? Anybody? Okay, good. Nobody. So one, you have distinct here is distinct.
I did.
Please stay muted. Whenever you want to, just raise your hand first so that you don't, because good that you did. So you have distinct values here. So it means they are not repeating themselves. You also have them here, they're not repeating themselves. So when you join that kind of table, those type of tables, you have one-to-one. And that's exactly what we have here. Because as you know, each of our invoice ID were the same, right? This thing, you did it now, right? They are the same, they are unique when we're doing it in Excel and even in SQL. So you have a one-to-one relationship. And that's why you see this guy here, one-to-one. Can you see? It was not there before. I think it's a new update because I think they just added it so that you can see that we have 1-to-1. So it means that this ID here is only appearing once here. This ID here is only appearing once. So if you want to see more details about the relationships, you can double click on it. So I'm going to double click on this now, and then something is going to pop up like what we have yesterday. So you can see this similar to merge. You remember? This is how merge. So you can change the table that you want to join with and all of that. So this is this you can see is joining using invoice ID, and then cardinality. So it's called cardinality. Okay, so you have one-to-one, one-to-many, one-to-many, or many-to-one. So it's just about which one comes first. So if you are doing, if you put the one that has many first, it's many-to-one. If you put the one that has many second, then it's one-to-many. So they are actually like the same thing. So it's still valid that there are 3 types. So one-to-many, one-to-one, and then many-to-many. So many-to-many is like when this guy, the key here is many, you have a lot of them appearing, and also here you have a lot of them appearing. Then you have a many-to-many. So this is more like, see it like an outer join, okay, full outer join. So that's that. So ignore this for now. I would just leave this, but you can see that if you want to check more on this is where you can find it. So that's one-to-one. So let's see one-to-many. Okay. So for us to see one-to-many, I think we might have to import one more table, okay? Because here, the table we have is, okay. Okay, so let's take 5-minute break so I can check properly which table we need to, it's still among the tables that we have before that we've used. So I will just need to confirm which of the tables that we need to bring. So let's take 5 minutes while I do that check, and then when we return, we'll continue. If you have any question in between, please reach out and I will answer. Thank you. See you in 5 minutes. Yeah, please go. Okay, I got the question. Okay, yeah, Mr. Ikechukwu, please go ahead.
Okay, so the question I want to ask now, like if I create a new a new file, like a new file for today's work, how do I import those yesterday's data into today's work?
If you create a new file.
Yes, let's say I create a new file now, it's just blank. How do I import all those things that we did yesterday, like everything, the arrangement?
You will import them again.
I import them again.
Yes. Or maybe I don't understand the question. You want to bring in those data, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you import them again. What you can do again is instead of creating a new file entirely, if you still need those data, you can save a copy of that your Power BI file and then just rename it and then use that one. So that's also a faster way. Okay. Although there's a way if I need the data from, you can use M-code, but I cannot explain that one. It's not within the scope of this class. So it will make the import process faster. So you just like copy the code and all of that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Or maybe there's another way out there, so you can figure out maybe when you check online. In this age now, it's hard to answer question and say that that's the only way. Maybe yesterday someone created the solution for it, so that's just within the scope of my knowledge that I answered it. So there might be another way, so you can find out. Right? Any other question? Okay. Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, sir. I don't know. I had an issue yesterday when I was trying to work on this thing. I know you must have seen it on the Discord. I posted there, so I've been running my head around it. So while I was working, I discovered that I feel like creating another column that I will need to use to check some information. So in the process of creating, so when I edit my query from the Power BI, which is coming back to the Power Query. So after trying to add the column, I did the necessary thing and I press OK, and I can see that it has created the column. So when I click on close and apply, so it took me back to Power BI. So when I get to Power BI, I didn't see that column there. So I tried to edit again to return me back to Power Query. That particular column turned to the error. So I don't know what could have been that issue.
That can only be resolved on Discord, not on the call. So you might, I think you shared the screenshot. I saw it, but yes. I just came back, so I have enough time. Sorry about that. We'll probably check it later. Okay. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay, so we will be using our enrollment file and enrollment and courses. Those two things that we did in SQL. So please find them wherever they are on your computer. Enrollment and courses. I think it's still in the school folder set that I mentioned yesterday. Okay, so I guess we are good to go. You don't have to go far to find that. You find it in the schools folder that you have.
So, sir, are we to merge them together or just import them?
Just import. Why do you want to merge them? Oh, okay. Good question. It's a good question. Don't merge them. Just import them separately, one by one.
Okay.
Good question. Go to Mr. Isaac. I wanted to set trap for you, but no, it's a good question that you asked. Okay. All right, so we have 11 seconds. Maybe it needs to merge with, I prefer not to speak. Be in trouble. Okay, so we are back. In case you went to take some coffee, I was saying that you should import the I'm trying to do mine now, the courses file that you have already from the SQL class. So I'm going to transform. Actually move my Power BI to the other side, to the other screen. But it will not allow me to bring it until so I've done for courses. Now I want to do for enrollment. Okay. I believe you have this folder now, right? Okay, so we have done. So if you remember in SQL, what we actually did was we joined them together, right? So, but we will not join them because, like I explained, we would rather use the modeling option. So now I have two of them. I'm not doing any change, right? They are the way I expect them to be. So there's no transformation. All I need to do is just close and apply, and should have your data ready. So I'm coming here to my Power BI, and then here you would find these guys that you just added. Where are they? Courses, yeah. So courses, and then we have enrollment. So the same understanding. Now, Princess, we have two new data now. So how are we going to join them together? Or what kind? I mean, so we have to first understand these two data. And I believe you already know that by now. So this courses table, as you know, is showing all the courses. So if you see course ID, just like we also have in that video, course ID 201, it means mathematics and so on. So if you see course ID, this is what it means. And then enrollment. So enrollment, I wish the enrollment, we had more data than this, but I didn't want to update because we will not have the same thing. So enrollment, this is like the examination. You could take it like examination. So this is student ID, course ID, and grade. So now, as the teacher, you have, or as the headmaster, you have been teaching this course for a while, so you already know what to the course ID 201, 202 is, and all of that. But you have a parent meeting, right? Parents don't know these things, right? And you want to show this result to parents. So there's a need for you to review the name of the course, not just like saying course ID, this and that. Okay, so this is like a requirement now. So it means that I have to find a way of checking what the name of course 201 means, 203, and so on and so forth, right? So it means there's another table, right, where that information is, and that's the course's ID. So what am I going to do? Princess, I'm saying this because of your question earlier. So what am I going to do? Where is she? She went to cook beans. No, is she the one that cooked beans? Or who is that person that cooked beans?
It's James.
Okay, so where is she? She's not on call. Okay, so let's move on. I was just trying to get out.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do based on my question now?
You mean the modeling?
Yeah, based on my.
You mean the modeling?
Huh?
Are we at the modeling stage?
Ah, you are not here. You are not here. You are not here. Ah, you are not here. Who else is not here? Let's know. Maybe I should take that again. Okay, let me take it again. All right, so we have our courses, we have our enrollment that we just brought, right? So I just explained the requirements, like something. So parent meeting, we need to know what each of these courses mean, right? So it's not just enough seeing the examination that they took and the score. I need to know what course this mean. I even need that of student as well. But let's start with the course. So for me to know what each of these course, that's course ID one, who is scoring this. Okay, maybe let's make us understand very well. So let's come here and create a new sheet and call it school. Okay, so now let's check our enrollment. All right, so I have my enrollment here. So if I need to know students and the, let's start with students. So if I need to know students and the score, okay, so if I click on student ID, because student ID is a number, this guy automatically sums, it did count for us. And this is, in this case, it's wrong because those IDs are not to be added. They are like, they represent each student. So you would want to come over here and change it from count to what? Don't summarize, okay? So once you do that, so it's going to give us the list of our students as you can see. So now I want to see the courses that they took, okay, that each of these courses took, each of the students took. So if I bring this as well, it's going to try to, now the reason why it did that is because it's trying to do a count. And what we want is not count. Again, this course ID is not to be counted. Of course, if you want to know how many, what's it called? If you want to know how many courses each student took, this is okay, but that's not what we want to do. We want to see, I just want to see the list first. I'm not aggregating anything. So I just want to see student one, this is the number of courses he took, this and this, and so on. So again, I will come over here for this guy and I will choose don't summarize, okay? So once I do that, you can see now. So you have student one, it appeared 2 times. So these are the number of courses that he did. Student 2, these are the number of courses he did. He took 3 courses. Student 3 did just 1 course. Student 4 did 2 courses, and so on. So now, for me, I don't feel this information is enough because I want to know the course. So how will I know which one is physics, which one is computer, which one is, at a parent meeting? So parent needs to know what this means. And if you check our enrollment table, this information is not there. I cannot find anything like course, the name of the course. But you, as an analyst or as a teacher, as someone on the back end, you know that our courses are here. So we can actually trace our courses here. So if I come to our courses now, we see that we have course name. So if I bring course name together, here it's telling me there's an error. Okay. So, and that error is expected. What's the error? If you click on see details, what's the error, class C? Can't determine
relationships between the fields.
So you can see. So in this one is because it's not summarized. If it's summarized like that first one, it will just give you the summary value and it will repeat it just like you saw. So that's one way of showing that there's an error with the modeling. Here, this is also another way. So because it's not aggregating anything, so it's telling you that there is no relationship. And that's true because even though course name is valid, you have not established any relationship. So there's no rocket science. There's no need for rocket science to tell you that these are the 2 tables you will join together. And on what are you joining them? Class. Let's go and check. So you identify their there. So here we have a roommate ID. We want to join it to the course. So where are we on? What are we joining? On course ID. So
Course ID.
So you come back to your model side. We come here first and so one more thing. Anytime you have error like this, so you see details to see. Although sometimes it's not usually clear, but the more you work, you will now understand some of the error and then you can know, okay, this is the issue that I'm having. So when you come here, so now let's go. This is another error now. We have to find them. So we have 3 of them here, good. So these 3, so let's just bring them like this. So we want to do for enrollment and courses, right? So I'm joining on the course ID. Can you see? So once I do that now, you see that if I go up here, everything is done. Can you see? So it's tracing course ID 1, just like we did with joints, right? So it's not really anything special, right? The main thing I want to show you here is this. So here you would see that it was what? 1, 2, 1. But here you have 1 to what? To many. So that star means many. Okay, do you get it? So 1 to many. And it's understandable because in your courses table, each of these courses appear how many times? 1. Each of the IDs, they are single. So you don't have duplicates here. But 201, for instance, if you check in enrollment, 201 is appearing how many times? More than 1, so many. You understand it now? So 1, if you watch that video, all these things will be clear to you. So if you are not understanding, you can watch that video. So 1 to many. Do you get the idea of 1 to many now? So that's just it. So who can tell me, based on the explanation I did today, what type of table is this one? This courses table. I think it was also mentioned in that video. So who can tell me what type of table is this courses table? Don't form my hand, though.
Dimension.
Huh?
Dimension.
Are you sure it's dimension?
Yes.
Yes.
100%?
Very sure.
Yes, that has primary key.
If it's not dimension, can I send you out of this class?
Yes.
Yes.
That person is too confident for my life. What kind of confidence now?
Send us out. Everybody will go.
How many people? Speak for yourself. Okay, it's actually,
Everybody, because we also
Do you have evidence?
okay,
yes.
so it's dimension table or lookup, right? So lookup or dimension. And then this one is what? It's, well, you can't say if this one is fact, but it's actually fact
This
because
is fact
you have duplicate
or data.
of the ID key. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if your next requirement now is to check how many tables? What's the other table? We have 3 tables now. We have student list. We did not. So the student list that we created before from yesterday. So unhide it. So those are the 3 tables. So we have unhide it. Okay. So now the next thing, similar here, we want to know the name of the student. It's not just enough to know just the student ID. Know what of the student name. I want to know my child. So maybe this is Francis Children's School now, and you bring this kind of result to him. You will not know which one is his child, right? So there's a need to add another requirement now that to add the names here. And where can we find the name? We can't find it in the enrollment table. We can't find it in the courses table. We can only find it where? Is it in cities? So again, these are things you need to know, and that's why business understanding comes first. Okay, business understanding comes first. When you join your team, one of the first things you need to do is understand the business, how they think in the business. This is what this means. This before you just go on data. No matter how intelligent you are with data, you cannot just bump on it without business understanding. So once you have the business understanding, then doing all these things become easy. Okay, so yeah. All right, so student ID now. So I just need to look for where I will find my student list. So which is this place, that's where I can find the ID. Okay, so now if I bring in my student name, because I have them here, we'll have the same error as the other time. And as you see, it says what? Can't determine because there's no relationship between them. So again, taking us back to the fact that there's no established relationship. So I need to create a relationship between what's this corner? This guy and this guy, right? So, and I will join them based on what? Student ID, right? So student ID here and student ID here. So again, okay, there we are. There we go. So this error is happening because, how will I put it? It's telling us, it's actually not an error, but it's telling us that we are having, what's this? Who can tell me what this is?
Many.
Many
Many.
to
Many.
Many to many.
many to many.
Many to many.
Usually many to many is you shouldn't have it. Actually, it's a bad thing to have. But there are some times that you might have it. So that's why it prompted that error that look, it's many to many. Hope you know what you are doing. So you need to have some level of understanding to know at least when because many to many. I mean, you normally should not have it in your data because you should always look at the dimension. I don't want to do a lot of explanation. So let me tell you why that is happening. So if you check your student list, do you remember student list yesterday? We have some students that were duplicate. Do you remember? So someone like David now, it's appearing to 5. Can you see?
Yes.
So it's many here. The student ID is many here, and it's also many here. So that's why you have many to many. Do you get it now? Do you understand what's happening?
Yes.
So that's why. So what we should do, if you remember yesterday, when we actually joined this together, we went to, so I'll go back to Power Query now and do remove duplicate, right? Do you remember? So on my student list, I will do remove duplicate. So now we should not have duplicate here anymore. So I'm going to do close and apply. And then once the query resets, if I go back to my model, you will see that it's still there. This is weird. So let me unclick it and change it to 1 to many. So now you can have it because there's no error. So if you want to understand again, let me just delete this one and start it again. I expected it to automatically change, but I don't know why. Well, maybe I'm the one expecting too much. But you can delete this. This is just to show you that you can delete these guys. So you can delete, right click on it and delete. Yes, I want to delete the relationship. She broke my heart. Oh, sorry. Not she. So then you can join them again together. So you have your student ID here and this student ID here. So when you do it now, you see that you have one too many because you have sorted out the issue with the many on that side. So it's no longer many to many. So you get it now? Okay. So now when we go to our report view, our table, the issue with our table is resolved. So we can see now it's tracking this to this, this to this. This is the student name. So you can present this list now for your school. In fact, you don't even need, let me now show you where it gets interesting. You don't even need to be adding all the student ID there. So I can even remove the course ID and the student ID. The student ID is coming from where? Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Okay, from here. And it will still make sense, even though that course is coming from somewhere else, student is coming from somewhere else. So you don't need to necessarily put, I think the same thing in SQL too, right? You don't need to necessarily bring out the referential colon. You can just decide I only want to return this. So it's still the same thing. So that's how modeling really makes it really flexible and sweet. Okay. All right. Any question? No question. Okay. So now that you understand those relationships, so we started from first identifying keys, understanding that you need to establish relationship, and then for you to establish relationship, you need to identify keys, and then after that, the type of keys, and then type of relationships you can establish, one to many, many to many, many to one. Okay, so let's take a question before we go to the next thing. Yeah, Mr. Sean.
Yeah, hold on. I think if I could remember vividly, the student list, it's in your side. I think you have about 3 students.
Yeah. I told you to add yesterday. So this student list we use is actually student 1, 2, 3. So if you're having 2, your result might be different.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I want to ask, because I have 2 here. I didn't have another one. Okay.
So yesterday I told you that student list 3 is only for me, for myself. So I told you to create one yourself. So if you created, you will be having a different result. Okay. But the main thing is understanding what we are doing. Okay. Thank you for raising that though. That's a nice one. Okay. So once you understand all these things, these are very simple tables just for you to grasp the whole concept. So what we'll do now is to take a break. Okay. Another 5 minutes break. But in that break, save this file. Okay. And then close it. And then we are starting a new Power BI file, because I don't want all these tables that are disturbing us. So in that new Power BI file, you will be importing the second, we have, when I sent you yesterday, there were 2 folders, right? So we have, in that folder, Power BI folder that I sent to you, we have student list and all of this. So there is this Northwind traders. Do you remember? So import all the data inside this Northwind folder. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 folders. So we have 7 minutes to do that. Okay. So we have the next 7 minutes. Close this one. If you want to keep it open, it's okay, no problem. But start a new file, a new Power BI, and then import all those data. Before you start your importation, don't forget to make the changes of the United States and all of that, because that's where the data is coming from. So make those changes, import them in your Power Query, and then let's meet in 7 minutes. Thank you. No question, go and do that. Thank you. Okay, I will just do it on my side. Like I will be showing you. I didn't want to show you before, but just in case.
Idris,
Yeah.
you missed a step previously and I've been having issue. Look at this color, valid, error, empty. Can you please remind me on how to get this? Because I've done all the settings, but I still cannot. Thank you.
It's not a requirement. So just continue. You can watch the video later. If I tell you, you not remember.
Please, sir.
Go and watch the video. I will tell you the timestamp that you find it in the video. Okay, so come to view and then you can check column quality. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Welcome. Wait, 4 minutes? What happened? No. This is wrong. We should be somewhere here. Someone is holding the time. Huh?
Sir?
Sir, you adjusted the time yourself.
Someone was holding it now, and I adjusted it. Why will it be 4 minutes since I've been doing? Yeah.
The under options, our origin should still be United States English, right?
Yes.
The first file the origin I'm seeing here is Western Europe.
The origin.
Should I load transform data?
Huh?
I'm seeing an option load or transform data. Should I load or transform data?
It's up to you. You should know what those things do. Who is asking those questions? Let me see the face.
That's Ikechukwu.
When you do load, it will come here. When you do transform, it will take you to Power Query. So do anyone that you want to do. It's up to you.
Okay.
If you do load, it will load it to Power BI straight. If you do transform, it will take you to Power Query. So anyone you want to do, it's up to you. We are at your mercy. Or your Power BI is at your mercy. Okay. We have 0 1 minute. I think time should be more up now. So let me just save my file. So call this not wind. Not wind. Power BI. So Power BI file extension is called PBIX. Okay, so these are some of the things you should know. PBIX, so .PBIX file. People, why are you asking to which country? I told you this thing now. I told you US. Don't be asking questions that are obvious. Okay, time. I think we should start now. I did mine, so it's not like maybe I've done it before. So I believe, is anyone done with theirs? Anyone? Good.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So we can start. Others can join us. So when I imported, I think one of the tables maybe categories. So you need to check. These are things you need to do. Maybe if you watched me when I was doing it, the first row went up, customers. So you need to use first row as header. We did that yesterday. So now we are having something looking a bit different. So let's do some investigation of our data. Okay. We might still need to, I believe we probably might go back to Power Query, but I just want us to have an overview of our data so we can understand. So more like we are doing business understanding of what the data is all about. So here we have categories. So I think we did something like that in the weekend, right? So you know what category are. So category of a product. So if we check the products now, I expect it to have category ID. Okay, yeah. So here it is. So it means that each product belongs to a particular category, right? So if I need to find the category that this product belongs to, I join it with the categories table and then using the category ID. These are very clear stuff. So if you need, these are the details on the product. So you have product ID, quantity per unit, unit price, discontinued. So if we want to know if this product is, normally, we should have a data dictionary, right? But take me as the data dictionary for now. So I will explain what this data means to you. So product name, quantity per unit. So this is looking dirty. So quantity per unit. So this is like the quantity. I don't know why it's here, but then you have the unit price. So the price of this product, whether it's discontinued or not. So if it's discontinued, it will be yes, 1. If not, it will be 0. That means the product is still in market. And then the category ID. And then for category itself, so you have the category ID and then the name of the category, several categories, and then this is the description of the category. And then you have customers. You have seen this time and time again. So customer ID, this is the name of the customer. This is the customer name, contact name. This is the contact title. So this idea is these customers are like companies, okay? So take not like individuals. So they are companies. So this is the company name. You can see that's why it says company name. So of course, in each company, they will have someone you can contact, like point of reference. So this is that person here. This is the title of that person. This is the city that that company is. And then this is the country. So Berlin is in Germany, of course, and so on. And then you have employees. So employees okay, so let me give you an overview of this data. So you have like a company that is selling, that's Northwind now, okay? So they are selling some goods. So these are their employees, okay? So these are the employees working for that Northwind. So they have 9 employees. These are their IDs. So this is the employee name. This is the title, city, country, and then reports to. So if I say report to 8, so it means that this person now reports to employee ID 8. And who is employee ID 8? Lara Callahan. Do you get it now? So if you want to present this outside now to know who this person reports to, you might need to, that's where self-join comes in. If we actually did, but I know we did not do self-join, but some of us who know it, you know that this is a use case for self-join. So you want to join this table to, don't let me go there, because the moment people heard join like this, they thought I'm going to SQL. They might leave this class. I know, and I'm looking at their face. So let me just leave it like that. But just understand what's going on here. So country and then the report too. And then we have shippers. Okay, so shippers are like, these are the companies that help us ship our product. So we just have 3 shippers, Speedy, Express. And so you would notice something in all these tables that I'm showing you. They're actually dimension tables. So starting from the categories, you can see everything here is unique. Okay. Starting from also to customers, you see everything here. How did I know everything is unique? So if I click on this customer ID, if you check your bottom left, can you see where my mouse is? You can see customer 91 rows, distinct 91 distinct values. So we have 91 rows and 91 distinct. So you know, I'm just showing you this to know that this way you can also quickly check whether they are distinct or not, okay, without having to do the manual calculation yourself. Are you seeing it? Top bottom left here. Can you see it? Okay, I hope you can. Nobody's answering me. I'm the only one here. So employee ID.
Yes, you can see it.
Thank you. So employee ID also, you see that 9 distinct. So that's how I knew. Products also. So each product here should have unique identity. So you shouldn't have more than one product should not have the same ID, right? Logically, as you know. And then we have shippers. So shippers also 1, 2, 3, no repetition. But when we go to somewhere like orders, let's see. So for orders now, it now depends on the structure. So far, like the project you did on Saturday, we only had one orders table, it just says order, okay? So but here, depends on the structure of the team and how they want to simplify their data. So they could also break the order further. So let's see what's going on here. So if I check my order here, order is actually distinct. And usually you would realize that orders is usually like your fact table, like, because you should expect customers in a particular order, you might expect more than one product, right? Based on what we've done so far. So if you're expecting more than one product in a particular order, it means that you would have to write that order ID more than once, right? So once you do that, then it automatically turns to a fact table, usually. So, but to simplify it further, sometimes we usually have orders that will just store the order ID alone, just the order ID. So the order ID, even if you have 5 products inside that order, you just have order ID one time, then it's going to give you the details of that order. So which is exactly what this table is all about. So you can see now that 830 distinct, 830 rows. So it means that every order here, just the details. So this is the customer that is making that order. This is the employee that is in charge. This is the day that the order was made. This is the day that the order is required to be delivered. So you make an order now, and then, I don't know, I've not made an order where they were asking me required it, but maybe because it's a different kind of business. But yeah, so they require this order on a certain day. So you can see this is the day they required it. And then this is the day that the order shipped. Okay. So this is already giving me an interesting insight, because if we need to know orders that are late, so I think this will help us. Because if you are shipping the order after the required date, automatically the order is late, just giving you insight down. So that's how you begin to think like an analyst. So this is the shipper that's helping us with our order. Okay, shipper 2. And this is the freight. Freight is like the weight, I guess. So the weight of this thing. So now, what if I need to know more information about these orders? Because just like I explained now, there are some orders that could have more than one product in them. I mean, I just need to know what is the details of this order. I don't even know the price. I don't even know the amount, right? We don't even know how much it costs or everything. So that's why we have another table here called order details. So when you check this order details now, I don't expect it to be unique, never. So you have it that, because here you expect, you get the understand. So is this one that will now give a breakdown of the order, right? So you can see, for instance, let's just randomly check one and see, maybe this one, if it's more than one. Okay, so for instance, this one now, we have 3 of them. So it's still the same order, just that the different products that were bought. So this is the unit price of the product. You can trace it to this one as well. This product ID 72, now the unit price is, okay, let me do 11. Product ID 11, the unit price is 14. So let me come to my products table and come to product ID 11, the unit price is 21. So these are the things that I'm observing now that we might have to go back to our business and inform them. So which one is the correct unit price? Are you getting the idea now? I'm just trying to test around things and see. So because here it says that, because I saw unit price here, and then I now saw it here again. I'm like, is it the same? Immediately in my mind, I'm asking, is it the same? So that's why I did that check. So now we can see that it's not the same. So we'll go back to business and find out which one is the real one. Maybe this was the former one, or this is how you ask questions in your data. So let's go back to what I was showing you. Other details. So here you understand why this is more than one, right? So this tells you that this is the fact table. Every other table are what? A dimension. So you have unit price, you have quantity, and we also have discount. So I'm surprised why this guy is 14. So since business is not here, I'm the business, right? So I would say let's use this unit price. Okay, so let's leave the one here, the one in product. Excuse me. So because I don't think it's accurate. So 11 was 14. So 11 years 21. So there's something wrong. So let's use the one from the other details. But if you are doing this in a real world scenario, you would want to go back to the business and ask them that there is something here. And so yeah, Mr. Isaac, go ahead. Do you understand what I explained? No, sorry, wait, Mr. Isaac. Do you understand what I explained first?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. So let's have Mr. Isaac here.
It's not just a question. I just want to get a clarification on this. Is it possible that a business, their unit price in 2021 is 10 kobo, and maybe
Are you from Nigeria?
Okay, sorry, their unit price is
oh, now are you denying your country? Just ask, are you from Nigeria? Yes.
I'm in Nigeria.
What are you? You want to quickly just deny the country like that? Hey, these people. All right, go ahead.
Let's assume that the unit price in 2021 is 10 kobo, and something happened, inflation and the rest
Dollar
of it.
rise, balabu, everything. Yeah, we
This
understand.
be reconciled. Let's say that the next year the price is changing. Is it possible to have such a thing in a table?
Yeah, that's a very impressive question. I mean, I love that question. So yeah, these are real life scenarios. These are what happens. So, but you as an analyst, because that's more like from the back-end side. That's more like the engineering side. They are the one that track those. So they call them SCDs, slowly changing dimensions. So when you have updates, so it now depends on how the company wants to keep record of how they do their SCDs. So that's what we determine. But you don't have any, well, I would say your business will just to know how to analyze it. But in that case, it depends on how business wants to do it, actually. Okay, it depends on how the business wants to do it. So if you want to, what you can probably do now that I'm thinking of is because when they write, okay, this is what's going on. So in your products now, your product it depends on how they do their SCDs. Your product ID might not be distinct anymore. Your product ID might not be distinct anymore. So you have duplicates. So one will be like previous, they will call it. So it depends. It's more of a data engineering concept. So I wouldn't say you should check it. But that's a very good question that you will need to ask your engineers in the backend how to track that. So there will be something that tells you that this is old price, this is new price. Do you get it? So depending on how they want to do it, but it depends on the company. So they can even decide that let's just calculate based on the current price, or let's calculate based on the last price. So it means in your data, you only just have one price, and that's the price you'll be using. Do you get the idea? But that's a very lovely question. But let's not go outside of, because it will take us outside of what we are doing as analysts. But I love that question. Are you from the southern part of Nigeria? I'm not discriminating anyway, but I mean, they've got highs for pricing and all of those things. So commendable. Okay. Any other question? Any other question? My head is hot already. Should we continue? Or you want us to stop?
No, continue.
And the advice too. Let's leave it. Let's judge everybody in Nigeria advice. Should we continue? Break. Okay, yes, continue. So let's take yes, continue. All right. So we've done the explanation of the data now. So you understand what's going on. I also understand. So the next thing is for us we have to model them together, right? So you don't necessarily have to be doing those visualization before you can know how to. This explanation already tells you already know these things. So I'll come to my model view here. Okay. So when you get your project in the weekend, somebody will tell you how you are going to model. If you like, go and model anything with anything, you will see your results, your answer will be there. Okay. But this weekend project, I think it should be relatively okay. Like, I just feel like that because you people might not have a lot to do. So let's continue. So imagine we are interested in, let's think now, right? We're thinking together. So I'm interested in, I want to know which customer is making which order. You understand? Which customer is making which order. So who can tell me what tables we are going to join? Let's make it interactive. Just raise up your hand and then I'll call you. I want to know which customer is making, how many orders are they making? Okay, Mr. Shion for me. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry, Mr. Andrews.
Are you asking question on my question, or you want to answer my question?
Yeah, asking question and also answer a question. Because when I join, when I open the this thing now, my own this thing here, it's they're merged together. I've seen the sign of 1 to 1, 1 to 2 together.
Because you did not follow the instruction. I told you yesterday the settings that you need to do. How many people also had their join automatically? How many people? If you had your model automatically, then you did not do the setting I told you to do. So if you check in your settings, I told you to uncheck this. data load, uncheck auto detect new relationship. Did not uncheck it. So that's why you like that. So it's not my fault. It's not following instruction. All right, so let's continue. I believe every other person have their own like this if you did what you need to do. So okay, my question. I was asking a question. You made me. Yeah, Mr. Ikechukwu, I think your hand was up to answer the question, right?
I've answered my question, sir.
Oh, you had the same thing too? I don't see. All right, no problem. All right, so who wants to answer my question? I want to join. No. I want to know how many orders each customers are making. Mr. James, the class, someone said the class captain yesterday. So let me call him. Class captain, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, Mr.
I'm not the one that gave you the title. With someone that just said class, I just heard it and then I thought okay.
That's fine, it's good. Yeah, so good evening, everybody.
So you accept the nomination. Look at his smiling. There's no salary here. You will work for free. Let's continue.
Okay, so yeah, so you want to know the number of customers that placed an order or orders. So that means you would have to join, you'd have to join two tables, which is the customer and the orders table, and you have to form a relationship with them through the customer ID key, which is a column that is common in both tables. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Are we using Python? I saw the. I don't know. Don't mind them. If you need to use Python, so just let me know. We don't mind. Everyone will have to really watch and see how it's done with Python. I know some people probably didn't like the sound of that. All right, just kidding. Thank you so much, Mr. James. So yeah, as you guys know, if we need to know how many orders our customers have made, so let's first visualize it so that we can see. So I'm bringing my customer name. Of course, I told you customer is company, right? So you can see a lot of them. And then I want to know how many orders they've made, okay? Not the count of customers, how many orders. So I'm going to the orders table, and then you can count the order ID. So I'm just going to bring in my order ID. It's changing to a chart, and then I keep it as a table. So now you can see, right? 830 all true, which is count, but tells you there's something wrong here. So you need to find a connection between customers and orders. So using their customer ID, and you join together. And you would notice that you have what? It shouldn't be one to many, because these orders, let me see again. In our orders table, our order is distinct, right? So why is it doing one to many? Maybe it's just doing it by itself. So let me change it to one and see. The cardinality isn't valid. Why is it doing one to many? Who can tell me? Can anyone guess it? Let me see. Let me see if anyone can try. So who can tell me why we can't have one-to-one? Anybody guess? Who can just try to think? Just think outside the box. Just think. Why do you think that we can't have one-to-one? Because we saw that distinct here. So let me use that to show you. I will use that to show you now. Maybe you can see what's going on. So if I come to my orders table and I check my customer, look at it, and I check my customer ID, we have 89 distinct customer ID. If I check my customer's ID, we have 91. So who can tell me what the issue is? With good explanation. I just mentioned some numbers now, and I showed you some things. So you should get it. So, come on, guys. You are an analyst. This is day 15. Come on.
Can I say something?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Mr. Agudaya.
So it's possible that most customers didn't place order.
Good. That's good. That's it. So if you check your customers table, we have 91 customers. Please let's stay meeting. We have 91 customers. But if you check your orders table and you check the customer ID of your orders table, how many customers do we have? How many customers do we have? Class?
89.
89.
89.
Do you understand now? So it tells you that out of 91, 81 only made orders. So it's never going to be one-to-one. because some things will be missing out. So that's why I created one to many. Do you understand? So that's, you are seeing. So now like this, we've answered the question. I mean, we've opened, our eyes of understanding is now enlightened to the fact that not all the customers made purchase. So if I ask you the question now, you're telling me all the customer made purchase, you know that something without doing anything, just with just the modeling and everything, you're already answering questions. Do you understand? So that's how analysis build up. So probably the requirement they gave you might not even include you checking which customers are not making order, but because you are now playing around things, you found that you just need to jot it down, keep it somewhere. That, okay, this is what to note. So why are they not buying? Where are they from? Which city are they from? Is it that they don't have the stock close to them? And then, so that's why I created one to many. Okay. So the same thing, if I need to know which products, so if you go back to this one now, you see that it's now in the right way. So we no longer have 830. You can see now, we can see this customer has purchased 31 times and so on and so forth, which is a lot. So I'm going to show you how you can, because I mean, you shouldn't have something like this presenting, because you can have it as a table, but you might be interested in top 10, top, and all of those things. So I'm going to show you that very soon. So let me just try to do all the model. I know I'm looking at time. It's just because of your project. So I want you to do something meaningful in the weekend. So that's what I'm trying to, something meaningful and sweet and easy. So, you know, so that's what I'm trying to make things fast. I'm going to remove customer name here. And then let's check for product. So we want to see how our products are doing. So if I bring my products here and I try to reorder this, so you see that the same issue, 830. So I need to come over here again and find a way of joining my product with my order. So again, using the product ID, which is here. Is there product ID here? Aha, there we go. So we don't have product ID here. Can you see? Because if you remember in our orders table, when we did the explanation, orders table does not have product ID because it's just showing us each product. It's just showing us each order as a whole. Which of the orders table shows us more details? Which of the tables shows us more details about the orders? Where we can find product details, order details. So it means here now, that's where I'm going to join my products. Do you get it now? So I'll join my product ID with my order details, which is here. Okay, now again, we have one-to-many relationship, which makes sense because each of the products are one here. And then, so it means that this is where it gets interesting. So now let's look at it together. How do I explain this now? Okay, this one will not change because we are picking from the wrong, we picked from the orders table, right? So let me take it out and pick from order details. So I'll pick order details now, order ID. So you can do the call. Yeah, just, okay, maybe you can do product ID. So it's still like the same thing. So if you have product ID and you bring it here, so you have the product name and the count of order ID. Why are we having this? Why is it not giving us anything? Product name and product ID. What's going on? Why is it blank? Anybody who knows why? Now let me check. So you do products and other details. Sorry, I see my model. So if you hover on it, you can see the two tables, the two stuffs that you are linking together. So you can see that I joined product ID with other ID. And you see, so that's where the mistake is. So you can double click on it or delete it and add it again, but you can double click on it and change it here. So instead of product ID, it should be here, it should be product ID. Yeah. So and then you click on OK. So once you do that and you go back, everything is sorted. So you can see now that this your product was ordered how many times? No, you can't even say. So because this is alphabetical order, even this one too, I think. So you can click on this place. So this one will sort it. So once you click on either side, it's going to sort it in the first, which is descending. If I click it again, it will do it in ascending. Okay. So descending, ascending, anyone. So if you want to sort in alphabetical order by the name of the product, you click here, it will sort it in A to Z, that's ascending. And then this one descending, start from Z. So depending on what you want to do. So what we want to do, of course, is this one in descending. So we can see which one is giving us a lot of orders. So when you do, because I already know, I don't want us to waste time. So once you do all these things together, you can do a lot of joining. So for instance, I want to know how many employees, how many orders they're handling. So I have to join my employee ID with my employee orders table here. So we form one-to-many. I want to know the category of my product. So it means I have to join my categories and product, because these are the two that are connected. So my category ID and my category ID, my product together. And then I want to know shippers. So the shippers that are controlling each other. So again, it's going to be shipper ID and shipper ID here. So you can see the join together. So let me make this well arranged so that we can see. So I would like to put my dimension table at the top. So this is my product here. And then I have my category. So I'll just rearrange it to look like this. So you have all your fact table at the top. So you can see the flow. You can see like the arrow. So it's telling you it's flowing here. So it's coming from the dimension into the fact. Everything is flowing here. This one also is coming from dimension into the fact. So that's how you connect them. So if you're interested in all of this. So now we also need to establish a connection now between this orders table and these other details, because we don't have a lot of time. That means your project might not be elaborate. Some people are happy like this. Okay, well, I think your project should be mostly on Power Query. So you're doing a lot of transformation, and then you will do just simple visualization, okay, based on what you've learned so far. So your project will not include modeling. So that will be until next week. But I'm glad that we did this. So next week we'll have enough time to do that and then try to complete a project so that you have a project in class, you have your mini project. That's 2, and then you also have your portfolio project. So that's, I mean, by the time you're done, you have a lot of projects already. So I think it's also good that we did this today. So don't worry, I would not, I might just include a joining. I would just expect you to join, not like you do anything special, but you might just try to connect them together. I want to see whether you understand this. So I'm just giving you insights on your projects for the weekend. So after doing this, the next thing you would need to establish a relationship between these two, because now this one is giving me only the orders. What if I need to know, I want to calculate what is the total amount we got? Because if you check your orders table, which is this one, and I want to know how much you made on this order, there's no way I can know, right? Because that information is not here. Do you understand? So which table gives us that information? The order details. So it means I must find the connection between the orders table and the orders details so that I can know how much each product cost us. So very simple. Again, I'm just going to join order ID orders table here, and then you have everything one-to-many. So now you have your complete data model, and that's it. You understand? Okay. I feel like showing you about time. Even me, I'm feeling it's actually sometimes the way I feel is I can tell that you are probably feeling worse. So if I can feel like this, I can, or maybe I'm the one that just should we continue?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Princess, your question. Princess, your question. Okay. Since it's sorry.
Should I go ahead?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. You know, we uncheck that. I can't really put it word for word, but we uncheck that there should not be an automatic connection. Yes. Thank you. So is it the best practice to make the connection ourselves, right? Other than having that automate
Yeah, it's the best practice to do it yourself. So if you can try to, maybe some of us that left it, so check if it's the same. So because that auto detect, what it does is it mostly uses name. Okay, and like I said, you might not have the same names. Maybe in your portfolio project, I will do that. I will change column names. So you have to think. So you're not just seeing other idea and just general. So I can change the name. So you have to think and investigate your data. Let me write it down so I will not forget. Because some people here, I don't trust them. They might make me forget like that. So your mini projects, your main project. So change colon name. So when you have different colon names, nobody will tell you to go and understand the database. You must understand it, because if you don't, you will definitely be doing nonsense. So you need, that's what you read everything. In fact, you have to write down, okay, this is what this one means. This is what this one means. So where can I find it? So it's over there, because their name is not the same. Okay, so that's a way to even learn. So different name. Honestly, by the time you are done with these things, some of us will find data engineering even interesting. That's who I am. So that's why some of these things I'm giving you from that point of view. You realize that by the time you are done, I've just after some years with your analysis, this thing, you're already bored, and then you want to do more. So have fun. Any other question?
Yes.
Yes, there's a question.
Yeah?
Can I proceed?
Yeah. Oh,
good evening, sir.
I guess we'll stop here tonight. Yeah? Good evening, sir.
What? Okay. Please, with respect to the last relationship you created, the other details and other ID, please, I want to know why it's going from one to many, like from the other table, that's a fact table, to the other details. Yes.
Others is not fact. We established that already.
Is it not a fact?
Did you go to check your bins?
You said what, sir?
Did you go to check bins?
No, not at all.
So why did you miss that? I explained that now. So I explained that our orders table, we have two orders here. Your mind is already that orders is always facts.
That's why I'm surprised.
So that was how I did those explanations. So if you check your orders table here, you can see it's distinct. So you might have to go and watch that part of the video, but I explained this in detail. That's why we have another table called order details that did the breakdown. So it is this one that is a fact. This orders table here is dimension.
Oh.
Yeah. So
all right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
Yeah. Mr. Sheunfumi. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, sequel to the question I had earlier, that when I did everything, I've seen the sign of,
SQL, you want to take us back to SQL?
No. I mean sequel as in based on the question I asked.
Okay, based on, got it.
Yeah, based on question
I want to scare some people. I know you don't like to hear that.
No, excuse me, I mean sequel. Okay, now sequel to the question I asked earlier, I found that that's merged together as a one-to-one here, because you said because I didn't change the data. Now, what I'm saying that is there any, what are the other fact, is there any effect of such something like that that can affect my query? Maybe when I'm trying to visualize it, is there any effect of that on? That's what I'm trying to ask.
The issue with merge?
Yeah.
In Power Query?
You don't understand. I said when I did this, my this thing has made together, I've seen it. You said I should go. I didn't change it because I didn't change it.
Oh, the auto detect.
Yeah. So now, since I have it now, is there what are the effects of?
Is it the same? Is it the same? Did you do the model correctly?
I think it's the same with what you did. I think.
You think, or is the same?
I haven't. Most of them are the same.
Check it rigorously. If it's the same, good. It's nothing. It's not going to affect anything. That's why it's there. It's a feature that will help you. Actually, what I sometimes, like me, maybe I open a data, I don't understand that. I want to be lazy with understanding the design. Just tell the guy to do it for me first, and then I revise it. So I do that. So, but the point is that if it gets it right, good. In a case where you are getting your data from different countries and they use different naming, so you're getting the data from Japan, for instance, and the name they call that colon is different, and in the US is different. So it will never get it right. So it's only just looking at the names, because all these things are the same. So you have other idea, you have other idea. So it knows, just need to join them together. So I'm just telling you, in case when you get the data that it's not like, that's why I said I would change it in your project, Mr. Sheunfumi. So I hope Mr. Ike.
All right.
Can I go on now?
Huh? Your hand is up.
Okay, yes, okay. So my question is, I think you encountered this sometime in the class, but I was trying to get up to speed to what you were doing, and then I lost it. My customer, I went to edit my customer query, and I noticed that it's the headings are in column 1, column 2, column 3. Do you have
Mr. Isaac, were you in this class yesterday? Were you in this class?
That's what I was saying. You said it yesterday, and I confirmed that you said it, but I didn't actually.
So should we say we should go back to the video to watch it, or you want us to show you today?
I am sorry, but I would love.
No, this is a question. Do you want us to show you
today? I always watch the videos. My pleasure.
Show you. So right click, and then you will see use first row as header. Okay. Can you see it? Are you there, sir?
Yes. I am doing it.
Okay, so it should work. And then your first row will come to the header. Any other question? Mr. David, your hand is still up. Do you want to ask?
Yes. To be very sincere, sir, I have no this is my first class for the Power BI, but I think my question might be relevant, but I think it's necessary to ask. Like before we start creating a relationship, like the modeling, it's usually reasonable to understand the data first. So with respect to what I've heard before, I've learned from some other experts. I was told it's always good to try to ensure our distant modeling is not snowflakes, like a star schema. Like it's advisable to always go with the star schema. Like what I'm trying to say is it possible to make a fact table just one, then other dimension tables will be connected to it with this particular data?
Do you know what star and snowflake is that you mentioned?
Yes. Yeah, so I know
what is snowflake.
Okay, with the snowflakes is when the dimension, like let me start with star schema.
Okay. I got no worries. I got your question. So I don't waste time. It's okay. I got your question. So it depends. General now, I'm speaking to the class now. So there are actually two types of schema. Was I planning to teach you on Monday? Well, maybe I will mention it again. Oh, no. This is not a good time. You guys already learned a lot of things. It's not a good time. So, but just your question. So this is a snowflake. I'm sure you know that, right? Mr.
Yes, it's a snowflake, yes.
So what you are saying is instead of having snowflake, why not just join this table together and then bring them as one fact, right?
Like, yes, I have one fact table, then others should be dimension.
Have one fact table instead of having this snowflake, right? That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Well, I don't know if it's best practice to have that. I use snowflakes like this. I leave it like this. I don't know if it has disadvantage. It has not occurred to me. Sorry if you are lost. It's the one taking us somewhere else. Don't worry, we'll mention those things again on Monday. Okay, let's wait till Monday. So I guess you have given me an assignment. I will check what the disadvantages of snowflake are. I mean, when you have hierarchical data, those are the ones I use. I don't bother to try to have one big table. But I guess if you are dealing with small data like this, it might make sense. But if, let's assume your dimension is really large, it might not make sense to have one big table when you can actually have a snowflake that is going to break them. Let's meet on Monday. Okay.
All right, thanks, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. So, but I use snowflake a lot for hierarchical, of course, like this. All right. So, any other question?
Yes, sir. My hand is up, sir.
All right, sir. Mr. Samuel.
All right.
Which one is starfish? Starfish. Who is starfish?
All these things. I'm even seeing conflicts like this. Yeah, sir. So my question, sir, Just a clarification. I know you cannot swear for me when I'm done. So the standard practice is before we start our visualization, we should first create the tables, right? Okay, that's just what I wanted to confirm, because after doing two, we just started doing visualization. We were just connecting everything just like that. So thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So actually at this point, the stage is from extraction, ETL, basically, transformation loading, and then modeling, and then visualization. That's usually like the stage. So, and I'm glad this class went well. Honestly, it's like the first modeling class I took, and I believe it went well. And this is because of the SQL experience that you've had and Excel, So I think it's really good that you had those. Otherwise, many of us would have struggled with these things. I mean, speaking from experience, I know it's really difficult thing to grasp. But in case you still did not understand, again, what we do here is practice, practice, practice. So you have tomorrow, which is Thursday, and Friday to practice this. For your mini project, like I mentioned earlier, you'll be doing a lot of transformation. You know where you do that in Power Query, right? So you would have to just extract, and so you will be having a single table. So it will not be like tables that you have to join. Okay. Maybe I might give 2 assignments. So I'm talking about the first part now. So after you do your transformation, everything, then you will load them and then you create visualization. Even though I did not really go deep on that visualization, so it might be hard to. Okay, let me show you one more thing. Just one more thing that I think it will be useful for that this thing. So now we know one common thing that we do in our question is do top 10. So that's what I'm going to show you now. So should I rush this thing or not? Okay, I think transformation is okay for your project. You people should rest this weekend because
yes, it is okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's just have it now for benefit purpose. Let's see.
We'll learn it next week.
Next week.
We'll learn it
Next week, please.
It's only showing us. It's
You
not that
people are in this class. You people are in this
No,
class.
it's only showing us. It's only showing us means it will come out in our
No,
project.
no,
Please,
no,
let's just
next
shift it
week.
Next week.
Please, next week, oh,
Next
next
week
week,
will be
please,
okay.
oh.
Next week, I beg.
So that will be
Next week, I beg.
conflict in our project. Please, next.
Okay, so next week we'll continue from that.
Voila.
We'll be doing that, and then we'll have fun next week while we round up our LearnCamp week. It's been nice. So see you guys next week. No, see you on Saturday for your mini project, and then I hope you have a great time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Thank you. Good night.
See people. Go and cook beans.
Good night.